Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. How are you guys doing? Oh, good evening, everyone. How's the weekend going? How you guys doing? Ah, thanks for joining. Can you please just click the share button and let's just invite our friends who might probably not have gotten the notification to this, video. It's gonna be a quick one. I just want us to deliberate about something. It's quite, disheartening and disturbing, what we see in our society these days, you know. These coffees, I'm having a little bit stressed. I wrote a very crazy exam yesterday. It's 1 minute, so I've not slept for days. Good evening, everyone. How are you doing? I don't even know how to go about this discussion in all fairness, because you see, it's really disheartening what the society of Nigeria has become. And on daily basis, we see, you know, all of these actions that claim life, especially innocent life of children, that you can see that, who is this? You can clearly see that they are preventable, clearly this preventable, actions, but because of a very bad system, a very, 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 very corrupt system that we have in Nigeria that has, accommodated all of these things. I want to profoundly, excuse me, I think I need to put a charger in this stuff. Give me 1 second so that we won't have stories that touch. Yeah. Okay. So I want to profoundly send, a very heartfelt condolence to the family of that boy that, can you guys hear me though? The family of that innocent boy that evidently was murdered and his life was taken at his prime. It shouldn't happen in any given society. It shouldn't have happened. It is preventable. So we want to send a very deep condolence, a heartfelt condolence to the family. I don't know how they're going to handle this, but I pray that God give them the fortitude to bear the loss. I'm a father of two, and the first time my son dropped from the window, how boys be playing rough play, dropped from the window right in my face. It's as if 2 pounds of blood ran out of me. Like my heart jumped out of me, ran back. Not to talk of losing a child is a very, I don't know. Like I can't imagine the state that the family, the parents, the mother, you know, would be right now. But we just send our prayers and pray that God will just comfort them in this very very trying time. Can only pray that God give them the comfort that they need to stand in such an horrific moment like this. I'm telling you, I'm telling you, we were supposed to take a photo shoot of my daughter when she was 2, I think. So I wanted to take like a motion picture on the road. So I took her out well dressed, and then we get on the road. And then, because they don't go out, she gets too excited. And she ran away from where I placed her. I mean, why she's saying I wanted to place the camera. This girl ran off and ran straight. She was heading to the highway. And like a vehicle was coming. You don't trust all these people. You don't know who is drunk driving. I chased her so bad. And kids can be fast. By the time I was able to lay my hands on her, not to talk of, see, it's just, I know what it feels like. Any parent will feel very cold on the inside right now. It's sad. Not only that you lose a child to what you don't even have an explanation to. What a society. Somebody that could not afford good education for his children will be worried that, oh, they are not going to good school and you don't have good education for the children. And then someone who can afford good education, who is paying ₦1 million for a child to have quality education, we still have to face this kind of menace. Is disturbing. It's horrible. And this is a result of a bad system, a non-functional system. Let me see if I can pull this out. Yeah. A very non-functional system, man. I've read a lot about this story. I've watched series of videos, and I'm just upset. Unfortunately, I feel like everybody is looking towards funny directions, and for me, maybe the way I think is just different. I just see things differently, and it just bothers. It makes me get angry the more. This is a function of a messed up system. Messed up system. Like, pretty messed up system. I've listened to the testimony of the father. As much as I grieve for him, I have a couple of questions to ask this parent, man. Because you see, the story in its entirety is not making any sense to me. I'm sorry. As much as I grieve for the soul of this boy, this story does not make any sense to me. There are missing puzzles everywhere. And so let us go through this. A mother, parents put their kids in school. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I just feel that there are more characters in this story that is being either hidden or known. So a private secondary school in Nigeria, what are the measures? Now I want you to think deeply. I know people get emotional, so your emotions can cloud your reasoning sometimes. But please, before you go haywire, listen closely. A private secondary school in Nigeria, in Lagos, that is paying ₦1 million per term. ₦1 million per term. There are baseline expectations of measures that should be in such school. And then it's a boarding school. A boarding school, ladies and gentlemen. So for a typical boarding school, not to talk of a ₦1 million kind of school, right? I know boarding schools. Any one of you who have been in a boarding house before, you will know that at least a boarding school, we have the hostel manager, house master, we have dormitory prefects. We're supposed to have, for a ₦1 million school, every common area should be covered with a CCTV footage. We don't have one. Not a single one have been mentioned. A ₦1 million school. So there should be at least a couple of personnel, right? The house master, the school counselor, the hostel manager, and then the security in the hostel. I want to believe that a ₦1 million hostel should be a gated community. So all of this activity that we heard, it is not a day incident. First of all, I'm coming to the parents, but let me talk about the school first. Let me talk about the school. So they have a CCTV footage, right? We have not seen it. We need it. We need the CCTV footage. Every common area there, the hallway. Let's see it. Now, this incident is not a day incident. It has been happening over time, which brings me to so many questions again. Now, this child was beaten up. According to his confession to his father, he was locked up in a cupboard for 2 days. Are you guys thinking right at all? 2 days in an hostel that should have at least 3 personnel that consistently either live there or take a shift. And one boy, do they do head counts in the morning? Do they do devotion? One boy was locked up in a cupboard for 2 days, and the hostel manager did not know. The house matron did not know, or the patron, whoever it is, did not know. The security of the hostel was not informed. I don't know what kind of kids that you know, but a teenager that I know, I don't care the level of intimidation you give to them. If the kids their age threaten them, when they see an adult, they will still talk. They will talk. How many students live in that hostel that all the students will be intimidated? What kind of student do you know? Children are never intimidated to talk about what frightens them. Nobody was aware. So the question now is this: the matron of that hostel, the hostel manager, the security of this hostel, they should be in prison by now. They should be locked up, if there is any. And if there is none, the principal and the proprietor of the school should be locked up himself right now. Like, before we have any discussion, let's talk about negligence first. Because these scenarios are literally not possible except there's an involvement of an adult. It's not possible. I refuse to believe that secondary school gang can perpetrate this much evil, in a school hostel that is under a management, and they did not know. That's negligence. That's the first thing right here. That is 100% negligence. How did it happen? Let's not talk addressing the school at large. Now, From the report that we have, this thing has been ongoing for a while. In fact, this boy have been assaulted a couple of times before this incident. He has reported to the parents. I think there was a back and forth argument with both parents about withdrawing him, putting him in another school, and then they say, well, the father said because the sister is still there, let us leave him there. Good thinking. Good thinking. So again, this boy was beaten and was locked up in the cupboard because that was what I read. That was what he told the father. Locked up in the cupboard for 2 days. And the sister did not know. So the sister is in that same school and did not see the brother for 2 days. And you think the sister will be intimidated not to say something. That is life-threatening situation. I don't know the kind of kids that you know, but kids don't function like that. I'm sorry. Something is missing here. There is an involvement of an adult. Which gang is in secondary school, Joe, that they are so smooth and sleek? What is the name of the gang? How we just keep hearing code group, secondary school code. Which code? Where are they? Who are they? Is the school aware of this such secret society? I learned the school don't have a PTA. It doesn't look to me like a code group in that school. It doesn't look to me like a teenager activity, except some teenagers are just used as tools to perpetrate something. It looks like somebody in the management of this school is a ritualist. Somebody is using these children for some malicious purposes. Somebody, there's an adult involvement here. This is not kids. When something had not happened, kids can be intimidated not to say it. Okay? You know, if you steal money from your mother's purse right now, and your baby sister see you, you say, don't tell mommy, shh. She will say, okay. She agreed to it. She might probably not tell if your mother did not look for it. But if your mother looked for that money and they started shouting and say you're going to beat everybody, your sister will confess. It will sell you out. That's how kids function. When something has not happened, kids can be intimidated not to speak. But when it has already happened, they will speak. So when this boy was beaten, from what I read, the rest of the roommates ran out to where? So when they ran out, every other student in the hostel, in the dormitory, did not see them running. Nobody could come to the rescue. 4 kids were kicking. How long do they have to kick a boy that they have to injure him? His mouth was broken, his ribs were broken. How long do they do that? These are teenagers, excuse me. SS2 boys. And they did all of that before this boy gets sick and have to be in the hospital. These kids will have been apprehended. I was in a school hostel my entire life. What are you talking about? I don't know what kind of school hostel you guys are. You want to tell me about senior? I went to a government school. That's the worst. Senior are like God there. But even at that, we still talk to teachers. You know they're going to beat you anyway. So whether you snitch or you don't snitch, you still get beat. So there's no point. There's no point. How can these kids? I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying how did they do it and it wasn't noticed until there was a casualty that claimed a life of a 12-year-old boy. No, it's not possible. Especially in the school premises. If the story has been that they took the boy outside the school and did all of this massacre to him, I will understand it. In the school hostel, the boy did not say anything and nobody did. Any other student that saw it would have said something. For me, I just feel like there's an involvement of an adult. This cult group exists because there is a teacher in that school or the management of that school are using them. School, exactly. See, all I'm emphasizing is a case of negligence. I'm not saying, I'm not talking, I don't even think, I'm not saying the cult group don't even exist. I'm saying if they exist before now, I believe that the school will be aware. Isn't it? Are you telling me the school management are not aware of their existence before this incident? Is that what you're telling me? No, it's not possible. They've been doing stuff. It's not possible to silence the whole student of a whole school. There's no way on it. So what has been done? Is the school teacher, the school management, are they aware of those who are involved in this criminal act by these teenagers? The other students that will witness it were also intimidated not to say a word. Well, that's not possible. Those are the things that I disagree with. You are going to intimidate all the students in the school not to say a word, and you think they will not? It's not possible. That's not, things don't work like that. A 1 million naira school. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ jọ̀ọ́. See, before now, there's something that I read that is pissing me off. I learned that the government want to shut down the school. You know, that's a very smart move, right? They should not shut down this school because that will deter the investigation. The school should remain open for investigation to be on, because you see, that's a shortcut to sink the story. Let us find out who owns this school. This Dowen school, I want to know, is owned by who? Thank you. The management, they are aware. They must be aware. So what are the measures? I am just plotting out negligence here. So as much as we want to focus on this cult group killing these kids, I'm not even seeing it that way. They should not shut it down. That's a very wrong move to do. That's sneaky. Shutting down the school is a very good strategy of killing this case, of sinking it down. Because see, the school is shut down, that means it's no more in existence. No, it doesn't work that way. The school should be suspended so that all the personnel should be tried. No, Chief Olumide Philip Lami. Okay, here we go. Because clearly some things are not just right. I'm not even saying that this cult group killed this boy. I'm saying that the school management have killed this boy. They have wasted the life of this boy. Yes, you can see that. You see that idea of shutting down the school. Now, scam is to sink everything, because if the school is shut down, everybody disappear. You can't shut down the school. In fact, all of the staff should resume every day. They should be tried. There are questioning that should go on. Can't shut down the school for what? They should just stop academic activity from going on and release all the students to go home for security reasons. But all the staff of that school, all the security in that school needs to answer certain questions. It's not this cult that killed this boy. It is the school system, the negligence of the school system that killed this boy. It is the negligence of the school that killed this innocent boy. I'm a little bit like, I'm pissed off. I'm not even sad, I'm angry. I'm literally angry. Now, This case of this cult group has been reported to the school many times. In fact, this boy that was murdered have been assaulted many times, which has been reported. Now, I'm sorry, but there's a part that I really I'm not enjoying in this story. And that is the part where, okay, this boy was beaten black and blue. This is another thing that is bothering me. Was beaten black and blue. According to the father, he could not stand and he could not speak. That right there sounds to me like a life-threatening situation. That sounds to me like a life-threatening situation that boy was. The school, according to the story, took him to the school clinic and called the parents, which is the ideal thing to do. And then the father of this boy took the boy to the hospital. They did series of tests. And then he took the boy from the hospital to his own house in Warri. Excuse me. Does that make any sense to you? This boy that was beaten black and blue that could not speak and could not stand was taken by the father to the hospital. The father said, no, now they called the father. They said the school took him to the school clinic, and then the father said he went. You want me to read it for you? It's right here. The father said he took him to the school where they did the series of tests, and then he took him home. That's what they said here. Let me get all of this gadget plugged. Now let me read this. Let us. Yeah, they are based in Warri. Let us read this. Let us read this part. This is from the father. When Chindalu came back from school after his first time, it was a different version of him. Please, I'm talking about negligence. I will still get back to the negligence of the school, but please listen to this. This is from the father. It was a different version of him. Parents, please listen closely. As much as we want to be emotional, right here, let's listen to this because there's a vital lesson every parent must get here. You have to be sensitive to the need and the changes in your kids. And don't take any red flag for granted. Anyone. Let's listen to this. It's a sad story, but let's get the moral. The deed has been done. I hope they get justice, but let's get this. This is the part that bothers me. When Chindalu came back from school after his first term, it was a different version of him. This is the father speaking. You saw it. Chidalu, my 12-year-old chubby and extrovert son, became a lean and withdrawn child. This is his observation. He jerked a little at little sounds and didn't talk much. He also ate food like one who was being chased. I kept asking him what was wrong, but Chidalu didn't divulge. He just shakes his head in the negative and muted and silent, no laced with fear. I told my husband, okay, this is the mother. I told my husband, and he too tried to make our son talk. We bought him things, even a bicycle that he loved most, but he didn't even say anything. He's still adapting to boarding school life. Don't worry, he will get used to it soon. Don't you see his over playfulness has reduced? A friend of mine told me when I complained about him at the women's meeting. A day to the resumption date, Chidalu came to me and said something. Mommy, can you talk to daddy to change my school? The son requested. No, now this is the mother writing. I dropped the clothes that was arranging in his box and faced him. Chi, why did you want to change school? He stared at me, then bent his face and stared at his legs. Not mommy, don't worry. I'll not change school again, he said and walked away. I wish I had listened to him. Oh, I wish. Me and my husband dropped him at school, and next day, and I can't forget the gloomy look on his face. Yesterday, we got a call to come to the school that Chidalu was sick. They said he fell down while playing game. But my son that I saw when we got to the school didn't look like who fell. Chidalu's hands, face, and leg was swollen. His hand, face, leg was swollen. He kept writhing in pain. What happened to my son? My husband shouted at the principal, who kept insisting he fell down. My son could no longer talk as his lips were injured. Listen, having deep cuts on them. We immediately took him away from school to a hospital in town where tests were carried out and we were waiting for results. Mommy, they hit me and locked me inside a cupboard for 2 days. Chidalu muttered to me silently when it was just I and his dad in the world. Now, the boy is talking, right? My heart flew and his dad had his eyes open wide. Who are they? He asked Chidalu. They said they will kill me. They always eat all my provisions and take my boxers and singlets. They gave me Pharaohs to take forcefully, then beat me. I was already crying and boiling. Okay, that Pharaohs was supposed to be the poison that was given to him, supposedly. My husband immediately began calling the police. He called the principal who hung up the call on him. Suddenly, Chidalu began jerking with foams coming out of his mouth. His eyes began turning wide. Chimo, doctor, stop the thing. And Chidalu, to stop this. I began screaming and wailing. My, my husband fell to the floor and sobbed, Madam, please, please, take her, sir. Lucky, we're sorry, the doctor said to us. Chidalu killer will never go unpunished. I will fight with my lads. Okay, that's the story. Now, I think somebody did like a narrative of the whole thing. But you see, the bottom line is this. There is a space where they took the boy from the hospital. I am just worried about the severity of the condition of the boy when the parent got to the school. And they married it together with the signals that they've seen before, which the parents even said. I read one of the transcript of the parent on what's it called? Instablog yesterday. The father, testimony of the father yesterday, where he was talking about, all of these things that they've seen, the boy acting out at home, and he wanted his school change, and then the man said because his sister was still in the school, let us just leave him right there, right there, right? Please give me a minute. I'm looking for the video of the father. where he was addressing the situation. Because some things, now, what am I saying in essence? This boy was beaten to stupor. They took him to the hospital. The man said they run a series of tests. What parts did I miss? That they now took the boy home to worry. This issue of him drinking poison, it was in the hospital that I told them that they beat him, they lock him in the cupboard. There's so much that they have ignored right here. I'm sorry, as much as they're grieving and we grieve with them, but there's so much negligence on the side of the parents. It's sad that this is happening to them, but it's quite preventable. Parent, please, I beg you in the name of God, don't, no matter how little and how minute that thing is, do not ignore any red flag from your children, especially when they go to school and when they are back. When these kids say stuff, listen. Study shows that 9.5 out of 10 children don't lie about an issue of abuse. 9.5. It's just 5% possibility that they're lying. 9.5 out of 10 when they talk about report an abuse is always true. And they know their abusers. You can't just ignore. This is quite unfortunate, but it's a preventable incident. What is this person saying? I remember when I was in secondary school and I played football for my school. And this particular day, I didn't intend to train and didn't go with my training kit. Unknowingly, our sport teacher, who is very wicked and 99% of students fear him, not knowing he already sent 2 people to come check me in class. And by the time I entered the school compound, people were already telling me that he has been looking for me and he has been threatening to beat me like mad. So when I entered the school, I took I couldn't read it. I think that was enough. They just ignored everything about this boy. Where are the sisters? Because according to them, it's because the sister is still in the school. That's why they let this thing happen. Yes, see, I'm not blaming them. I'm just using them as a precedent for other parents to learn from. See, it's a wrong time to even blame them. We can't judge them. They are grieving right now. I need you to understand me. This is such a very sensitive moment for that family. But at least the rest of us, my daughter came one day, they were playing around in the premises. And then she came inside with a bandage on her shoulder. Not breaking in, plaster. Then he goes, Daddy, I got a plaster. If you see the way I jump outside, only for me to realize that she went to play with the neighbor's kids and one got injured there and the mother was putting plaster on their daughter's injury. And my daughter told the woman that she wants plaster too. So they gave her one. She didn't have any injury, but she just see that they're having plaster and she said she wants it. But even when I saw that there's no injury there, you need to see the way I'm scanning that girl's body. Trust me, that was the last time she went to play with them. That was the last time. No, it's not going to happen again. Because if it is a Google that they are sharing for their children, that's the way she will have said, I want it too. Yeah, thank you. These are the part that bothers me. This man made all of these statements. I don't want to blame them. The father said those boys, as once threatened the boy, asking him if he has the vagina of the sister. And he said no. And they beat him until he said yes. And this boy reported this. You are aware of this. You are aware of this as a parent, and you leave your child in that school, and the school management were not held accountable. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́. Joe, this is sad, but please, this is not even good. It doesn't even sound right. But you see, let me leave the parents. As in one lose guard gone, one lose guard gone. Boarding house is good, it has its own advantage. But ladies and gentlemen, in this age and stage where we are not sure of anything, yes, he told them they are aware of that. See this Odumio, 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 Odumio. As parents, like I'm worried. I'm a little bit concerned. As much as I don't want to like criticize these parents, like Odumi go, how they let this thing degenerate to this point is painful. It's painful. Eh? See, boarding school is good. It has own advantages. Some of us have been to boarding school and all of that. But in this age and stage where we are not even sure of anything, may I please advise that you put your child in a school beside your house. Then public school, then boarding school. I don't know why anybody will still put the child in boarding school in Nigeria. Like why? Àwọn ọmọ tó ń lọ school tó ń wálé lójoojúmọ́ gan-an, àbọ̀ Ọlọ́run la ṣe fi ń là ń gbà lórí wọn. If your child is in boarding school, hear it. I'm saying it with my full chest, with my government face. Go and take your child away from there. I don't care whether it is Redeem School or Winners Chapel School. I don't care whether you don't let me talk. People will take their kids to private university because they don't want their daughters to, be corrupted, to see decadence. You know the amount of lesbianism that they practice in Redeemer University and all of this Covenant University. You know the high level of sexual immorality they practice in those schools. Cultism, gangsterism, you think it doesn't exist there? It's worse there. At secondary school level, Joe, don't let the idea of boarding school, as far as you're in Nigeria, don't let it occur to your mind. It's not a good idea right now. Because I will tell you why. Government has failed. Government has failed. See, this is the problem. There is what we call standard practice. There's what we call standard practice that will have been a government regulatory structure that is placed on every organization that is rendering services to public. These are missing. Two unfortunate incidents that has happened concurrently. The collapsed building in Victoria Island will have evidently been preventable if the standard organization, which is the government body, has been effective to inspect. There's supposed to be inspection. How will you build a house in America? The day you are just cutting that they are doing your survey, there is a standard. The government body are coming. Once you do your foundation, they are coming to inspect it. You will submit your architectural design to the government. They will look at it and they will tell you it must be so inches deep in your foundation. It must be this. After you do it, they will come and inspect it and approve it. You cannot lay blocks on that foundation until the foundation inspection has been approved. And then when you build it, they already know you are building 10, 20-story building. They have a standard. And trust me, this same structure is in Nigeria. It's not as if it's not there. It's just our problem is implementation of policies. The policies are there, but the corrupt, messed up system is claiming the life of people, more influential people and innocent children because there is no structure that is being implemented. The policies are there, but implementation is zero. So one person, one nuisance has collected one brown envelope and they just approve school to begin to practice and leave the life of innocent children in jeopardy at the risk of being assaulted and humiliated. How can a secondary school that pay 1 million be having all of this kind of morality and indecent behaviors, all this deviancy in a school for all this while, and it existed? No, please. I don't care how cruel you want to tell me secondary school culture group is. Even university culture group are being curbed. There is no. If you put your child in boarding school in Nigeria, it's your fault. Now you know you are risky. Maybe you don't like your children. Is this school? Do they have the right measures in that school? Because if the measures are there, how many employees do they have in this hostel? Now, the school hostel that I know, they do RAM check, they do head counts. A boy was locked in cupboard for 2 days. Was there head counts done? Who is the housemaster? That a boy was beaten with scars and it wasn't noticed. The same way we have seniors that we assault you. That's the same we always have school mothers those days. Those ones that will always be your defense and all of those things. Maybe they don't exist. People say I don't know what goes on in Nigerian school again. But excuse me, if the measure is there, because if you don't think she will, is that see developed country, they are not bad boys there. They are even worse there. Shall one more thing? I want to put in Nigeria. Some people kids go to school with guns here, but they have not born that kid where he won't go scot-free. You can't do it and go away with it. It's the day he brought the gun. That's the day they will catch him. There are schools in Lagos that I've seen that don't even have a fence. School, secondary school with no fence. And it's a private school. If it's a public school, we say hey, everything government is messed up. How can you take your child to a school that you pay 1 million? See, Emi Okin for private school in Nigeria, at the end of the day, you hear that somebody is paying 700,000 school fees, 1 million school fees, and I'm asking you, are you mad? I've had this argument with somebody, you're like, hey, stop talking like that. Just pray that God should give you money to afford it. No! Even if I can afford it, there's what we call value for money. What are they giving? What are they teaching? Think it's taking my children to an expensive excursion that I want. No. Listen, a minor, whether I like it or not, both this child that was killed and the killers of this child, this supposedly cult group, they are all minors, I suppose. I am not only holding the school responsible for the death of this child, I'm holding the school responsible for the activity of the killers. Now, a minor that was brought to a school, a boarding school, the school they have the primary custody of these children. How can my child pay for my child to come to school and I pay 1 million for my kid to be in school and my kid is joining a gang in your school under your watch? What did you think I pay for? Why did I not take my child to Igomode Grammar School? My child is joining gang, is becoming a cultist, beating people, assaulting people in your school that I pay you 1 million for. Not only for the death of this child, but for the deviancy of these killers. This school should be held responsible. There's another side to it. I beg you in the name of God. I beg you in the name of God, to all of you that are practicing religion, whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, please don't let religion cloud your common sense. There is a part in this story that disheartened my heart. And that is the part where the father said they took the boy from Lagos and took him home in Warri. And I hear there's a part that they said they were praying for him. A child that told you that he drank something. Now, that's another part that I don't get. At what point did they find out that this boy drank a poison? What was the intervention? At what point did the parent find out that they gave him something to drink? for the fact that the school lied that he fell, because I don't believe that they were misled by the students. Mm-mm. They were just trying to cover their ass. It's not as if it's what the students, the remaining witness, told them. It's the kids. If let's say the kids were intimidated, they rather not tell them anything or they tell them the truth. The kids not going to just be frightened to lie by what happened. A whole school and everybody will be intimidated because of some code group. Could it possible now? If that code group exists in that school, there's a teacher that is their chairman. There's somebody there. There's something is not right. Believe you me, write this down. I will let the investigation continue. There's something beneath these kids. These kids are not just the soul killer of this boy. There's a perpetrator underneath the curtain. I said it, write it down. There is evidently a perpetrator underneath the curtain. Nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí kọjá òye ọmọ teenager say, no, now, no. I refuse to believe. But please, let me emphasize on this, the idea of taking the child home to pray for him. Ó dùn mí o. Why did they take him home from Lagos to Warri? Thank you. That's the question I was asking initially. That in an ideal hostel, there will be house master, there will be hostel security. At least there should be 3 personnel in that school. There should be what they call a matron and a house master, and then the security, and then chapel prefects. They say they locked a student for 2 days. They beat him and locked him up in the cupboard for 2 days. Could possible say, could possible in an ideal situation, could possible. If it happened, it's not the student that locked him up. Something is wrong somewhere. Aleya, once you so fun let them. And then, do you notice that in this story, there are so many things that are not specified? Yeah, some things are not specified. Do you notice that in this story, the names of the personnel are not mentioned? They keep saying 4 boys. What's their name? Who are the boys? No, the boy opened up. When they came to the school, when the school called them, they came to the school, they said the boy told the parents that they forced him to drink Ferus, and they beat him and they lock him up, all of this. The boy told the parent in the hospital. The boy told the parents in the hospital. And then they took him home. That's the part that bothers me. I don't want to question their action. Okay, they said their names are now out. Okay, well, we want to know the name of the hostel manager. We want to know the name of the security in charge of that school. We want to see the CCTV footage of the common areas. Let us stop just being emotional and be talking about this. We want to see details. Where are the footage? Because are you telling me that in 1 million naira school, they won't have a CCTV footage in the common areas, the hallway, and all of those places of the hostel? No. Kí lẹ wá san 1 million fún? Let us know the name of the principal. Who is the teacher that saw it first? Who saw the incident first? What did I see now? One of them is Bukuti Kasamu's son. Wow. Okay. Michael Kashamu, Favor Benjamin, Edward Brown, Agboru Emmanuel. My next question is this court group that we are talking about, is it just these 4 boys or there are more of them? the, the court group that is threatening all the students that they cannot speak. Is it these 4 boys? Think, think, think. And it could possible that they successfully intimidate every student not to speak. Could possible. The student spoke. There's somebody in the school system that is covering up the truth of this matter. There's somebody, there's a dark area in what happened in that school. And we are not having the true story. I can't put my finger on it, but something is not right. Something is not right. Teenager then you more. Did some group will now intimidate the whole student. Ṣé everything go bá ti ṣẹlẹ̀? Ó ṣe intimidate ọmọdé kó máa sọ̀rọ̀. But tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ already, they will speak. Something is not right. The teacher, somebody, something. There's not this. There's what's the name of the code group? Let's start from there. Because the sad part is that the school is not just finding out about this group. It's not this incident that make the school aware of the code group. Do you guys know that? Kì í ṣe nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí náà ṣe fi mọ̀ pé code group wà ní school yẹn o. There have been reports. The school is aware that this code group exists. A 1 million naira school. A 1 million naira school is aware that there are some students who are cultists in the school, and they were not fished out and expelled with immediate effects. That tells you something. Is it that the owner of the school is the owner of the cult group, or his son is the leader of the cult group, or something has to do with one teacher there? It's not just about these kids. It's not just about these kids. Which one of you will run a private school and you have one student that is a cult group in your own school therefore, and you will let them to continue to be a student for what? It's not this incident that made that brought the awareness. They have been there. I'm not even interested in arresting these kids. They are minors. They're not going to go to prison anyway. They are not jailable. The principal, the housemaster, the hostel security, the class teacher, they should be in prison right now. Why the matter is investigated? They should be in custody. They have something to explain. Any close teacher, like class teacher, all of those things, they should be arrested right now with immediate effects. They want to shift your focus to say it's one cult group. Which cult group exists in a private school, and the school will let them exist, and the school is aware of them, and they will let them continue? A girl went to party and was twerking last song. An adult, university student, had an excessive twerking video last song and posted it on Snapchat. Coming out university student was rusticated with immediate effects. Because you can't establish a school that is that expensive and you will let one bad egg destroy the reputation of your school. If they are just hearing for the first time about the activity of these children, I will understand. There have been reports. Clearly, all of the things that we've read shows that there have been activities going on, and it has been reported to the school. Ladies and gentlemen, the school management did not do anything about it. Silence is consent. Did you hear me? Silence is consent. Is either they are the one who are the cult group, or they are exploiting the cult group for some malicious reason. I don't care about these children. At the end of the day, they are children. In fact, if I'm one of the, God forbid, I don't imagine being more. Or if I'm one of the parents of these children who perpetrate this evil, I will even sue the school. How did my child that I brought to your school become a gangster in your own school and I'm paying 1 million? You tell me I pay 1 million for my child to come and learn courtesan? No, I will ask you questions. Because you see, when you take a child to a boarding school, you have transferred the custody, the welfareism, and the discipline of the child to the school. They are taking over. So my child cannot develop one habit, a minor, because that's what a minor is. Anything a minor does wrong, it does it at the expense of whoever that is having the primary custody. It's a shame. People will take their kids away from public school because the public school is messed up. They put their kids in private school. And then they say, no, let us go to an expensive private school. Just to make sure they saw 50,000 naira school. There are private school in Lagos that pays 35,000. They did not take their child there. They take their child through. That's true that charge 70, 100,000. They did not take their child there. Because they just want to be sure that the child is properly raised. They took their children to school that pays 1 million naira. Only to be murdered in cold blood by some God-forsaken children in the custody of a school management that is supposed to have a primary responsibility of these children. Now I come to a submission, whether you people like it or not, that one of the big lie in this story is that there is a cult group in school that is doing something. There's no cult group in that school. There are seniors. You know how seniors are. Seniors who are bullied. Maybe they now form gang. But the way they are posting is cult group. What's the name of the cult group? There's no such thing as a cult group. They are just trying to shift a focus so that the blame doesn't just look solely on the school. And then they say it's a cult group. In a private school. What are you talking about? A 1 million naira school. Cult group. And they are aware of it. And they continue. How big are these children? How notorious are they? No, there is no cult group. Cult group. Cult group, that means they have meetings. They do initiation. They have a slogan. They have a color. That's what they call cult group. In a private school. And they continue to exist. No. Yes, seniors. You know how secondary school is. Seniors, they are bullies who will send you message. They will take your provision. They will ask you to go and fetch water for them. They will give you letter. Kí lorúkọ cult group náà ní secondary school? Mention names now. In a private secondary school, this is not government school. This is not the Pakoto High School. Moral instruction. Parents. Focus on your children. Talk to your children. But more than talking to your children, listen to them. Way more than talking to your children. Please listen to your children. Listen to their concern. This innocent child did not deserve the death that he died. If only the parent had listened to him. This boy has a whole life ahead of him. A whole promising future ahead of him. As bad as the system is, as bad as this country could have been, if only the parent had listened and they have observed all of these things and they have followed it up, this boy's life will have been preferred. Just noticing that this boy is frightened, his behavior is changing. If you notice behaviors in the life of your children, It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. See, we are not talking of government school. They are called in secondary schools. That are government school. It doesn't happen like that in private school. A 1 million naira school. A 1 million naira school for what are you talking about? Like, where is the place of rescue in Nigeria? You will hustle to make money. You will hustle to settle down and raise kids. You will try to take your kids and give them security. You will try to give them, somebody will now say, let me be sure that my child's life and education is secured. And we take a child to a 1 million naira school only for that child to be murdered in that same school because somebody did not just do the right thing. How long are we continuing to lose precious life to negligence? If the government had insisted on the standard and the education board constantly check the activity of each school and they audit their reports every time, some things will not just happen. Yes, there are bullies. Bullies right from cultists. You don't know what cult means. Maybe that I hate, let them stop using that word. Say there are some senior bullies in school that they are bullying the kid. It's not a cult group, man. But please, parents, focus, notice. Aside from talking to your children regularly, listen to them. Listen to them. Listen to your children. Children don't lie about when they talk about abuse and assault. They don't lie. A 12-year-old boy that just said, can daddy please change my school? There must be something. There's no amount of information they have given him in school. If the parents are receptive enough, these people can afford to lose everything they've ever had just to gain the life of this boy back if they could. Don't get too busy that you cannot focus, you cannot notice change in the chemical reaction of your children, change in their terminals, their behaviors. Don't get too busy that you cannot notice all of these things. Don't get too busy. If you spend your money to make sure that your child have a good life, and then it is that's the first thing I want to say to every parent. Because the deed is done. I hope they get justice. At the end of the day, the people that they are claiming that they are the killers are minors. I know they are not just the killer, or they were the killers with the help of an adult. There's somebody in this story that is yet to be revealed. It's not just these boys. It's not just these boys. But please listen to your children. Number one. Number two, don't let religion ruin your life. It takes a religious mind to take your child from school that was brutally injured, that cannot speak, that you said this man tear, this one tear. He told you that they gave him something to drink and you took him home. All the way from Lagos to worry. From Lagos to worry. And you kept him in the house. Can we be fair? This is a very hard truth. But this is sad. I'm sorry, but that boy was assaulted, was brutalized, but the negligence of the parent did the killing of the boy. I'm sorry. Yes, he was beaten, battered, he was assaulted, he was brutalized. That boy would have just been getting the right medical attention, probably require some therapy, to get, his self-esteem back. But that this boy died, there's a larger part of it that is the negligence of the parents. Would have been another case if the boy was killed in school or he was beaten and they rushed him to the hospital and then he died in the hospital. But you took him from the school, hospital, and took him home. Do you know? This is the part that you people will not agree with me because you are getting emotional now. Everybody's angry with the school. Do you know that they can't win the case really against the school? If they go to court, if they took that school to court today, they can't charge that school for murder. They can only sue the school for negligence. Because clearly the boy didn't, it looks like he didn't die through the outcome of what happened in school. It can easily be denied. It can easily be denied because the father has altered the authenticity of this case by taking the boy home. If this case is properly, now they will now say, hey, they have bribed their way. There is no justice in Nigeria. No, there is justice in Nigeria. It's just that our people don't know how to be about so many things. How did you take your child to the hospital from that school, seeing the boy like that, and the first thing you did is not to call your lawyer immediately? How? How did you not file a lawsuit with immediate effect? You took the child home. The boy probably died months after. The school cannot be held accountable for that. Unfortunately, if they have a good lawyer, they will win this case. You will not start saying, oh, they have bribed him, they have seen the case. No, they will win this case, unfortunately, with this narrative. They just need a good lawyer. They will win this case. And it's not magomago. It's just the rule of law doesn't relate to emotions. It's fact and figures. It's what is obtainable. The law is not going to condition to anybody's situation. As far as it's sad, as much as we can see that his death is traceable to the incident that happened in school. But you see, with the way the narrative went, they won't be able to hold the school responsible. The school can only be sued for negligence, and a case of negligence is just a case of fine. They will only fine them or shut down the school. Let's learn to take swift actions. Don't let religion destroy you. Don't let religion destroy you. See, they took the boy home to go and be praying for him. For what? Hey, Mr. Muiwa, can you call in on my Facebook Messenger? Because I'm using my phone today for some reason. I don't know why I did not use my system. Hold on, let me see if I can switch. Let me see if I can switch. Okay, just hold on like that.